I just started, so you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rashid Okuniran, and I'll be moderating this session today on the topic working with aggregate function, which is part of the series I've started for the past 5 weeks. I'm sure we've had an amazing time, and today we're very lucky to have a very wonderful man in the house, Mr. Mfonwa. When I saw his profile, I was just shaking where I was. That's wow. Where am I going to start from? Mr. Mfonwa is a statistician and software engineer with 18 years of software development. Wow. So most of the software that he has worked on revolve around Microsoft software stack, classic.NET framework, .NET Core, and the rest. Those ones, they are bigger than me. Let me just go to the subject of the day. So he's a Microsoft certified trainer and an Azure AI engineer, the data scientist, AWS machine learning specialty, Databricks. So far, his IT career he has found two tech firms, Unified Data Nigeria, a software company, and Logic Graph Limited, a company primarily focusing on big data and artificial intelligence. So, which means that we are not in the wrong hands. Mr. Mfon will do justice to this topic we have started. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Mr. Mfonwa as taking us through the topic aggregates of function in SQL. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rashid. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the series. I think this started like 5 weeks ago, Abi?
Yeah.
Or this
Yeah.
Today I will be taking you on the topic working with T-SQL. Let me share my screen first. Last week we learned a lot. We learned something about how we can get data from more than one table. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's copy. Yeah, I can see your screen, sir.
Okay. By using function like union all, except, intersect, all that to be able to subset data, and also by using the joint statement to combine more than at least 2 tables or more. So today we'll be looking at working with aggregate functions. We'll use a bit of what we learned last week as we go, but we'll focus really on aggregate function. First, it will be just a very simple aggregate function in T-SQL are not many, about 5 to 10. There are not many. So we'll take them one by one. We'll do a demo as well. I will try as much as to explain it in a way that any person will understand. So feel free to ask questions at any point in time. Draw my attention to anything I say that anyone doesn't understand. Without wasting time, let's see what aggregate means or aggregate function. First, aggregate function means, first is a built-in function. There's how you can also write your own user-defined function to do aggregation, but this one we are focusing on the built-in. And what the aggregate function do for us is basically to do some calculation for us, simple one. And most times you likely use them with group by in the select statement. You can as well use them without group by, but most times to be able to summarize your data the way you want, you will use it with group by. Now, what are these aggregate functions? The first one we have is the count. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen. I can see your screen, sir.
Yes. The first one is the count. The second one is the sum. The third one is the average, minimum, and maximum. These are the common ones that we have. And other ones will be the count underscore big, variance P, standard deviation, and standard deviation P. I will try as much as to explain this later. Let's move on. I will explain all this, what they stand for and how we can use it, and we'll also try to demo it. Now, we'll start it this way. I have a simple picture here on the left. Now, we can see on this picture, we have what? Apples, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we have apples. And basically, I'm trying to introduce the aggregate function. That's why I bring this to us. Now, on the right-hand side, I have some questions that likely we may want to answer. Let's see how we can answer them. Now, the first question says, how many apples are there, or how many apples do we have in total? That question somehow can be the same thing, but sometimes it could be two different kind of questions. So let's try to answer this question. The first one, how many apples are there? Let's count. Or let's do it. How many apples are there? I need a response.
15.
15.
15 apples. So in other words, it's also the total number of apples also is 15, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The
Yes,
second
sir.
question says, given the color of each apple, what is the count per color?
8 for green, 7 for wine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
7 for red.
Thank you. Basically, with these two questions, we've done like two different aggregate functions. And also, we've also bring in the keyword group by. I don't know whether you guys are used to group by. If you're not, let me explain. Now, like the first one is like a general kind of question. How many apples? And to some extent, all of them are apples. So you give one answer, just one value, which is 15 in total. Now, things about aggregate function is this. Aggregate function will summarize data and return a single value, what they call a scalar. So that's what it means. So now the first question gives you one value. Now, if you really, the second question now bring in group by when you have to maybe categorize your data. So that one now subcategorize it by specifying maybe how many 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 greens and 7 red apples. Do we understand, or is there any question? Do I have to still explain it? Do I explain it? Should I explain again, or everything is fine? We move on.
Let us respond if we are fine, or if you need to.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. So it's so simple.
Sorry, I actually want to ask. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Go
hear.
on.
Based on this information now, where can distinct actually picture here?
Okay, this thing can picture either anyone. You can bring in distinct. Any of those questions you can bring in distinct. But in this case, in this particular case, it won't really make any difference. Should I explain further?
We can actually use distinct count. Now, if I'm using distinct count now, probably I'm still going to have the same results based on the second question here.
In this very case, it will give you the same thing.
All right, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, I have another diagram. This one is a graph. I try to make it very simple, but at the same time, just to give you an idea of what we'll be looking at. Basically, it may not really make sense, but at least it will convey the idea. Now, let's look at the graph. Now, this graph is plotted item against points. Now, I have some questions here. The first one says, what is the highest point, the graph highest point? Who can tell us the highest point? Who can tell us the highest point?
About 23.
23, correct. Okay, the second question asks the lowest point. What's the lowest point?
That's about 4.
About 4, okay, that's fine. So the third question says, in light of item 5, what is the total number of points? So that one would be 23 plus what? 20 plus, say 7.
20, 20, 23.
So that's 50, isn't it?
Yeah.
50. So the last question says, what is the average for question 1?
5.
5. Thank you. So basically, with all these questions, we've looked at the 5 common T-SQL aggregate functions. That is count, sum, average, minimum, and maximum. Let's continue. Is there any question for me?
I think we are fine for now, sir.
Say it again.
I think we are fine for now.
Okay, now. So now we want to go deep to what aggregate is and what aggregate function can do for us. First, we have the count, which is actually is the first question that I asked when I showed you guys the apple. Basically, a count function will do this, will count the number of rows in a table and return a scalar. Then the sum function will sum columns and return a scalar as well. Then average will do like sum and divide by the count. Then minimum return the minimum value in a set. Then the maximum return the maximum value. Now, the other functions are the variance and variance P and standard deviation and standard deviation P. Maybe let me explain this one in a bit. These particular ones are statistical function. For the variance, I don't know whether you guys are used to that word variance. I can explain it in a little bit. Variance are basically when you measure the distance, the deviation from the mean. Like this one that we have variance and variance P. One is basically based on the sample, and the other is basically based on the population. Now, the whole idea about sample and population in statistics is this. The population is the entire data, and the sample is a subset of the data. Basically, statisticians don't believe in using the entire population for calculation. So they believe in maybe randomly select a sample from the population, do the analysis, and infer whatever they have from the sample to the population. So these two functions, one is based on the sample and the other one is based on the population. It's the same thing for standard deviation. Any question for me, or we should move on? Question, or we move on? I can't hear you.
Someone
Question
talking?
for me?
Yeah, we are good. Let's move on.
Okay, go on, Sam.
Okay, I just have to bring in this. We will see when we do the demo. These are some key points you need to note about aggregate function. First, it returns a single value or a scalar. This function ignores null. When you use it with a select statement, basically it won't have a column header. you know, and you can use it with a group by. And also all aggregate functions are deterministic. That means they return the same value if you apply them to the same data set. So they will actually return the same value. We may come back to this slide later. So the next thing is just for us to do demo and we learn. Let's learn. Let's all of us learn. First demo is a simple table that contains 8 sets of data. We'll use that to practice each of those. Then we move on to another kind of table. I will explain the table before we do that. Then we move
Please,
to our.
hello, let us mute our mic, please.
Okay, the first table I have for us that we can use to practice is a simple table. Now, if you check this table, hope you guys can see this very well. We have like 8 columns. Can you see this?
8 rows.
Yes, we can.
8 rows, sorry. So we have 8 rows. Now, just one column, 8 rows. Now, if you check, there are some 2 rows have null. So we want to check how aggregate function behave when you have null values. Okay, let's take the first aggregate function, which is count. So we can do something like select count star from the table. What we have? A scalar, a single value. Now, I said something like if you check, selecting star ignores the null. But let's try something else. Let's try another way of doing this, and we pass in the column name. The result is 6. So what that tells us is basically, if you say select all from a table, actually that one will ignore null values and still count them as part of the data that you're looking for. Do I have any question? Do you have any question?
No question, yes, sir.
So let's do the next one, sum. Now let's inspect whether this answer is correct. I will do this together. Is the answer correct? Our sum.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So let's do the next one. If we want to find, take for instance, the maximum number, we can use the max. So we say select max and we pass in the value from so the maximum number is 5. Basically, we can do the same for minimum. And we can as well do for average. So in other words, our aggregate function is doing what? Is summarizing or giving us, you know, doing some calculation and returning what? A scalar to us, a single value. Let's move on and use like a bit complex data set. Now I have this small data set here. It's very simple. I have 3 tables. One is the student table, one is the subject, and one is exams. And with this diagram, you know, there's a relationship between the student and the exams and the subject and the exams as well. So let's see what we have in this table. First, let's see the total content in the subject table. How many rows do we have? At the same time, I can say select what count star. That will tell us the total rows that we have in that table subject. Let's look at the exam table. This is how the table is. Now, basically, this table contains the exams ID, the student ID, the subject ID, the grade, and the marks. I will join it to the student table so that it will make sense for us, and also to the subject table. You guys know this already. So I will join it. Now, let's also join it to the subject table so that it will make sense for us. Then we'll do our aggregation on the entire data. Let's rearrange the column so it makes sense. Please, if there's any question you can ask, I'm just trying to join all the tables so that it will make sense, the data will make sense. Then right now, what I want to do, I want to rearrange the columns at least so that it will be more readable. So I will start with the student first so I can see B dot,
Let's try and drop our question in the chat room so that I can tell the facilitator. Thank you.
We did this last week. I believe you guys know this already. So I'll say MC.subject. I can as well do like order by. Okay, this is our data. Now, it's a simple data. You have the student details, you have the subject details, and you have the marks in the exams. So basically, we can ask some question like the question someone asked, like, what if we say, okay, how many students score like 58? Or how many students score like 72? Or how many students score like 84? So we can answer such question, isn't it? Or what we say, what's the total marks of a particular student? That's the kind of question where aggregate function can help us to answer. So if you have any question, please, you can bring forth so that we can use that to experiment with this data and see whether it actually makes sense for us, please. So like now, if we want to find out, let me ask a question. What is the maximum or the highest marks in the whole exams? What do you think we can do? Can someone try?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think?
Select max, M-A-X,
Mm,
then into brackets, marks,
okay.
M-A-R-K-S.
Okay, from which table first? From
From the new table.
okay, the table is this one. So I can say select marks. No, the table is exams.
It's exams, yeah.
Yeah.
Marks.
So this one will give us the highest mark. Do you guys know subquery?
No.
It's not
No,
done
okay.
software.
Okay, let me, okay. I'm trying to see how we can use this, the max, fine, is max, but how to make sense out of the whole query. Now let's go back here. What if I ask what, okay, we did something like, let's do select max this group by, we introduce group by now. Group by what? What do you think this will give us?
The highest score of the students, given the IDs.
The highest score of each student, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically this one, the first one that just select marks give us one quantity as one scalar. So this one will categorize it by what? Student ID. Let's run it. So here we can see for each student, let's make it more readable. So, but basically what you need to know is this: any column that you select when using a group by, you must also pass, and the column doesn't have an aggregate function, you must also pass that same list of columns to your what do you call it, the group by clause. So let's run it. So with this one, you can see from the list of those tables, we can see that this student score what? This highest maximum marks is 84. This one, the maximum marks is this, and the rest. That's how to find marks. We can as well do the minimum and see their minimum marks. So we can see that for this student, the minimum score is 50. I think this student actually scored 80. We can as well combine different kinds of aggregate function on the same query. So let's try that by adding like max. So what this query tells us is you're trying to find the minimum and the maximum max for each student. Are we making sense?
Sorry, so I
Are we
think
making sense? Say it again.
I said I
Mark,
think it
you
will be
did
good if
it.
you use alias for that minimum so that we can have header.
Okay, thank you. Are we making sense?
Yes,
At the
sir.
same time, you
Yes,
can
sir.
also combine count to see whether how many subjects each of them did. But this one, I will pass in the student's ID. So I will say number of subjects. Yeah, it will still work. Anyone will work. So from here, you can see that this student has 7 subjects, whereas this one 5, this one 10. And this is for this very student, the minimum score is this and the maximum score is this. We can as well combine and put the other aggregate function called average. That's how we can use aggregate function. Now, you guys are used to where clause, where subject, something, isn't it? Yes or no, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys also comfortable with having?
You can go through it also as a kind of recap.
Okay. Now, let's go back to this one, this query. If you check, this query return the entire record for us, 199 record. Take for instance, we don't want to see all this record. We only want to deal with a particular record or a particular student. So what we can do is to filter it by using the where clause. So in this case, we want to look at for one particular student. So we can use any kind of columns to filter it. But in this case, I want to use the student ID. So I will say where student ID equals to, since the student ID is a string, I can say this equals to this. And this will filter for us. So in this case, what actually I'm doing is I'm only looking up to a record of one person. Now, in the same way, if I want to do like more than one person, I can use, instead of in this same way clause, I can pass in a list of IDs. I want to pass in another ID here. So right now, if you check, the result gives us data for 2 different students. The first one with this ID and the second one with this. Now, when you're working with aggregate function, like here, you can as well filter this data.
Hello, sorry.
Okay.
You can as well filter this data.
Oh, hold on, sir.
Excuse
It's
me.
like there's a question, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, a quick one. I don't want to bore you with rhetorics. I joined up quite long. I just want to find out the reason for the alphabets that we have preceding after for instance, after the select query. Yeah, I can see
this
B
one.
dot. Yeah, I can see B dot, and below select under the minimum. I can see CA dot and the rest like that. I just don't know the essence of those alphabets.
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry for asking. I'm taking you back.
Last week you guys did joint. And
yes, sir.
You were told that if you join tables to make it readable, you can use table alias. So basically, I would have done something like this. it will still work, or I would have done something like this. Or maybe I would have done something like as exams or anything. Eh? But for me, I prefer to like the way I list the tables so that I will remember that this table is, if you're joining a table, you can do outer joint, which is left or right. And that outer joint, you may need to know which table comes first for you to have the proper result when you're doing outer joint. So for me, I like to prefix the first table with A, the second one would B, the third one would C, so that whenever I look at my query, I will know, okay, A table comes first, B table comes second, C table comes the third without even looking at the names. Are you okay?
Okay, I can understand.
Yes,
It's
so
your own
that's why I
creation.
say from this table, I use an alias A for this table. This one, I use an alias B for this thing. So what I'm doing at this point is up here is basically to prefix each of those tables with the columns. I can as well remove it, it's fine. But if someone else wants to look at, okay, this one won't allow me because there are many students, is a foreign key, primary key, so it won't permit me. But this one will still work because it's only one other name that I have in the entire table. Have I answered the question?
Yeah, it calls for further review. I can understand what you're saying.
Okay, no, if you don't understand, ask your question in case maybe someone else will learn from.
The issue is that I'm not a total stranger to the concept, but sometimes when new ideas are being shipped in, and others, and you must have taken them through this last week, in the bid not to drag the class, so I can move forward, then I will now take my time to look at it so that you afford me the opportunity to study.
Check last week lesson, you will see this.
Yeah, so we can move on.
It was dealt with very, very deep, so check last week.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, we were talking about how we can filter data, especially when you're using aggregate function. Now, like this query doesn't have any aggregate function and we use a wait clause. We can as well do the same thing. Let's do the same thing here. Use a wait clause here and see what we can extend the wait clause. Now, when you're using a wait clause with group by, especially when you're doing aggregation, the wait clause needs to come before the group by. What this entails is when you're looking at the way SQL handle your query, you understand, it makes it better. And in short, you need to put your wait clause before the group by. So basically, the query will be filtered first before the aggregation is applied to it. That's the group by. So let's run this. Now let's assume I have two result sets here. Let's assume that I further want to maybe summarize this, reduce what or maybe I want to have more insight. I can do something like, say, having maybe like if you check this query, this result, we have number of subjects. I want to base my filter on this. This one has 7, this one has 5. I can say I'm looking for the one with only 5 subjects. I don't want anyone that exceeds 5 subjects. So I can say having count and now apply my aggregation count, maybe student ID, the same aggregate, less than 6. What do you think will be my results? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Is there any question for me, please?
No, no, there is no question in the chat room for now.
Okay. So in the same way, we can as well use any aggregate function. I can use sum. where sum equals to sum of what? Sum of maybe max, or the average, or maybe where sum exceeds so thing, I can use that. But if you are using aggregation to filter your data, you must use having command to do that. And you can pass in your aggregates here. Please, I need questions so that let me know if I'm doing good or something.
Question, class. Are we confused? Which one?
Well understood from my side.
That's
Okay.
a good feedback.
Yeah, good
Thanks,
to go.
Oyindamola. Arolo, do you have any question?
Yeah.
Me, I'm in the confused group.
Okay. Okay, please.
I know.
Please
I know
ask question.
the silence has been unusual, but it's just for us to follow it gradually. It should be fine. So, where are you confused? Hello. Hello.
I'm here.
Hello?
I'm here. I'm looking at it.
So where are you confused? Is something we can address now?
Having.
You mean using having?
Yeah.
Okay. Hope, do you know what this is? Where something using where clause. Do you know what it means?
Yes.
Okay. Using where clause is basically to filter your record, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you notice, when you're using the where clause, you pass your, what should I call it? Your, let me not say argument, your data that you want to filter your result sets on. It's the same way you can actually apply aggregation on filtering. Do you get what I mean?
No.
Okay, let's see. I run this. Okay, let me remove this. I have this. You're okay with this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, look at this data. Let's ask ourselves any question that we feel we want to ask. I want to like ask a question like, I only want record of those whose minimum marks is greater than 50. How possible is it? Check this very well. Check all this very well. We have 16 rows, isn't it? And I'm saying to myself, I only want to see those whose minimum score is greater than 50. So we can do that, because now you won't say where what. Okay, let's try. Let's even try. Let's see.
Oh, I understand now. So
yes.
we can't use where when there is a function there.
No, we can't use aggregate on a where clause.
On a where clause, okay.
Do you get it now?
Yes, I get it now.
So if I only want to see people who minimum marks is more than 50, maybe it's 50 to pass or whatever, there are some failed here, 20. So I can't say where minimum equals to this. But if I say having minimum marks, the same quantity here is what I put here. When minimum max is what? Greater than what? 50.
But what if we have that in conjunction at the where clause? You get what I mean?
Here.
Okay, just for instance, we have where B student ID in 0 and blah blah, and maximum is greater than 50.
Okay, wait, let me ask your question again. Let's try that query. You say what?
Okay, no, I want you to finish this one up before I proceed.
No, see, I made a mistake using maximum. So I'm using minimum now. You know, minimum only give us 3 people. So that means only 3 people has max minimum greater than 50.
Hello?
So
Hello?
yes,
Please
yes.
check that sign. Having minimum a dot max. That sign is greater than 50.
Yes, this greater.
Is that the
So
intention?
yes, the intention was to find those whose minimum max is greater than 50. See minimum max here. So greater or not equals to 50. If we say equal, greater or equals to 50, it will be more. So if we say just greater than 50, like say, see 50, 50, 50, 65. So if we say greater, so that means we'll have 67, 55, and 54.
50 will not be part of it.
Yes, because it's more than 50.
I need to also find out from you, please. What about looking at it from this angle? The second line of the highlighted query. If you go to the second line, minimum, I will now put minimum bracket, mark, close the bracket, greater than 50. Will it go?
No, it won't work here.
Sorry, I need to find out.
No, it won't work here. That's why you're having this having, and you still passing the same what you want here. It won't work here. So, but we can try. Let's try. Eh? Let's try. Eh? Let me close this. If you see, it's even complaining, so it won't work. Let me run it for us to see.
Those on our headers, it will not work there.
It won't work here, but it will work when you use having.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Yeah, back to my query.
Okay.
So I said where we have the where clause there, that's rule 16. Can we use like conjunction there, where be to then blah blah blah, then and minimum mark greater than 50?
Let's try. Let's try. Let's try. Yeah, I think it will. Let's try. Let me remove this one. Can you see?
Okay.
So
we can
if
use
you want that kind of, you need to use the having clause.
All right, sir.
So instead, we now remove this guy here and put it here. It will work. Oh, sorry, these two guys doesn't even have their minimum up to 50 self. So that's why the thing returned nothing. Okay.
I'm seeing a hands up from Ahmed Adegbola. If I'm right.
Yeah, Ahmed
Let's have you.
Okay, sir. Please, sir, I understand from my hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, from my SQL knowledge,
Yes.
I know if in place of the join keyword, I can use the where clause.
Join this
join here, like from school.exams A as alias. So instead of having the join there, I can do a where and combine the expression of common column. Do you understand?
No, let me see. What you're saying is, if you have something like this,
okay,
you can say where,
then the b dot, no, the expression at the end of the join line.
This one. This one.
No, the one before. The line before.
This one. Or this one. This one.
Yeah. No, not all. Not all. Just the B dot student ID equals A dot student ID.
Here, like this.
Yes.
Whether it will go.
No. I think I have come across some scripts where they use that to answer some business questions. So what I want to understand is, if I use that where here and it fulfills the responsibility of the join, can I have more of where, like the next where you used in the block of code? You used another where there.
Okay. Let me first answer your first question, where you say, like here, you now have something like where something. Do you know subquery?
Yes, I know subquery.
Like here, I can say where A dot student, because here is only one table that I have, where A dot subject in or equals to a subquery, and now write a query here. If you see, that means what I'm doing makes sense, you know. But if you're combining more than one table, you must specify a joint, or you use the same keyword you guys were taught last week, like except, union, all those kind of keyword to combine it. But as far as combining two tables, and maybe you want to use joint, you must, after the first one, specify the joint condition, or the table you want to join, and specify what the joint condition by doing something like this. After that, you can apply your where clause the way you like.
Okay, sir, please, could you just like run the example to see?
Like based on what you were telling me.
Yes, based on the join one and the where one. If
no, okay, see, the way the first one you said, like, yes, if it should be something like this, Abi.
Yes, then you can take away the in. You can take away the in. Yes,
this equals to
yes, the next no, not a string now. There's an expression up. There's an expression up there.
Like what kind of expression? Just tell me, I will write.
You can scroll up. Please scroll up.
Okay.
A dot student ID equals to A dot student ID.
Okay, let's try. But you know one thing with this query, we only have, maybe you're doing like a save joint. This is what you mean.
No, it's not. It's just that expression up, I want you to copy down.
This one.
Yes, from B dot from B dot to the end.
This one to the end, isn't it?
Yes.
I copy it to replace this one.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Now, if I use B, if you check here, there's no table with alias B. So it will give us an error. Okay, but if I want to do a save joint, I can replace it with A and do a save joint.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Okay, so what I think is that we can include the B table in the from clause.
No, you can't. You can only you can't include a B table in the from except you specify a joint condition, or even if you do something like union all. Union all will expect a complete query, like the same one up, down, like this. Okay, do you get?
Because the reason I'm asking is that I've come across the code before. So where they included from table A, comma table B, and they wrote the where expression, and it worked.
Maybe you can post it in the community. We'll look at it.
All right, sir.
Okay. The other question was what? What's the other question?
Oh, okay. Like the having clause.
Say it again. Having clause, yes.
Having clause. So in place of a dot max, can I have? I've come across places where they wrote max alone. Is it possible?
Let's try. Max what?
Just max.
Now, it won't work. The syntax, if you check documentation, the syntax for aggregate will be you specify the aggregate and pass in a column or whatever that you want to it. All aggregation are like this. Let's try now. Let's try.
No, you haven't specified the max in the bracket.
Minimum max, okay, max. It's showing that there's error already.
No, you haven't typed max. There should be max inside the bracket.
Max.
Just ordinary max.
Okay. Let's go.
Is it max or
no,
mark? M-A-R-K.
Max. M-A-R-K. Max.
M-A-R-K.
M-A-R-K. Okay, this one.
Yes, initially you wrote a max. So I'm talking of.
Okay, we can do something like this. It will be okay. The reason why it will be okay is this. Let me tell you. I have to put this because of we have a joint here, and this max is coming from this table. Now, take for instance, we have any of this table has a column also max. It won't go. So in most cases, we have to prefix to specify the exact column or the table that the column is coming from. So that's why you have this. Please don't get confused. We can as well, the query you are saying is, take for instance, we have something like this, exams. If you check, I can say max. This one will work.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Yes, I get you, sir.
Please. So basically, why I have A here is because of the joints that I'm doing.
Okay. Okay, sir.
I've answered your question, Abi.
Yes, you answered it. So the last one, sir, sorry. The group by, I've come across places where instead of specifying the columns, they wrote them in numbers. Like as we have them in the select statement, in order like that, they wrote 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let's try. Can you see the error?
Okay, I can see it.
So the group by must reference a column in the select query. And one thing you need to know is this. For every columns, okay, I've said this before, for every columns that you specify on the select statement, that is that you don't apply aggregate to, you must also have that same number of columns on your group by.
Okay.
Do you get me? That's why we have the same number of columns here and the same number here. You know, from here downwards is basically we apply aggregate to them.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Someone else?
Sorry.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. So sorry, I just want to find out how can we I have the last session, the one that was taken last week.
It's on the group. Are you on the group chat? Are you on the WhatsApp group?
Let me check. I'm checking now.
You have to.
Yeah, I'm on the WhatsApp group. Yeah.
And so it's there. It has been dropped since last week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. But
okay, let's do something else. Let's do something else. We have our movie database.
Hello. Sorry.
Yes, I'm with you. Yes.
Okay. Can you scroll up, please?
Oh, Okay, wait.
Oh, you've deleted it?
No, I'll go back.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you explain this no of subject? What's that?
Which one?
The first line, on the select statement, the last select statement there.
This one.
Yeah, the last.
Check this number. Which number?
Statement. 12.
Which line
12,
number?
12.
Number 12. This one. This statement.
Yeah. What's the no of subject? What does that mean?
This one, go. Which one? Okay, number of subjects.
Yeah, okay.
Number of subjects
is a column alias we gave to this count. So basically, we are counting the number of subjects any student took in these exams. You know, if we check your exams table, let's see the exams table.
Okay, so it's the value of the count.
The count.
Okay.
If you check like similar, like this guy, the same person took like 6 subjects. Another person maybe took like 5 subjects, like this one 5. So basically this one is just the count per student. So we give the column an alias, or the column name, we give it a column alias by number of subjects the person took.
Okay.
Should I move on?
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
On your movie database, you on this table, you have some.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So I've noticed that you write go. What does the go mean? What's it for?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go actually doesn't do anything. Go is just to separate my queries. Like between, if you check, this one is a batch, is a one query, and this one is another one. I'm supposed to have put go here. It makes it readable, and this shows that this one is one unit of work. This one is another unit of work. This one is another unit of work. So go in T-SQL doesn't do anything. It's just to separate your queries, your batch.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Sorry. Now, on this table, your movie database, you have some numerical columns. If you have any question, we can actually do aggregation on all these columns, like budgets, box office dollars, Oscar nomination and wins. We can actually check, like, very straightforward. We can actually check how many people got like more than 2 or 3 wins. Can we do that? Can we do that? Does that question make sense? Can someone try? Can we?
Yes, it does.
That question, does it make sense?
Samuel is raising his hand.
Okay, go ahead, please.
What was the question, please?
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to, I didn't know my hand was still up. Okay. So I just wanted to make a few comments about Ahmed's question. I think there was somebody asking about a syntax where you specify all the table names separated by a comma, then you do your join on the where clause. So yes. So you can actually do that in some Oracle specific instances of SQL Server. I think the person, I'm not sure the person's name, I think it was Ahmed, but I think the person is mixing different flavors of SQL with what is possible in Transact. So that's where his confusion is coming. Because his third question too about using group by doing 1, 2, 3 is actually, you can actually do that too in some flavors of SQL, but not in Transact. So
Yeah,
I just
Transact,
wanted to,
yes.
make that comment. Yeah. So for the first one, you were saying you can do something like from exams, comma, students, comma, maybe another subjects. Then you do where then you join those columns on the where clause. So it's possible, but it's not best practice. So just a few comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So this is our movie database. On this table, we have some numeric columns like all this. What if someone asks which film or how many films got more than maybe 3 Oscar nominations? What do you think we can do? Would that make sense? Is that a good question for us to aggregate? Or how many, let's see, okay. Let someone ask a question. Let's see a good question that can help us do this. Or someone can, Is there any question for me? So for this table, what if someone asks you, what's the total budget in dollars? What do you think we can do? Can someone try? The total dollar budget dollars, the total sum. Can someone try?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the select statement like?
Okay, so let me ask, what do you want to come out from the result set? Is it only the budget dollars or all the columns?
We basically want the total sum,
Just the total sum. Okay, so we can have select max budget dollars.
Max, okay, let me do something like so that I can pick this thing directly. Select max. You said this one will give us the total sum, the total amount. True or false?
Of the budget dollars.
It's
false. Yes, false. Thank you. So the query will be like this. What do we have? Tell me.
Some.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one will give us the.
I get it.
Thank you so much. And we can actually have the average, Abby. See the amount. We can actually have the average as well. Let me still use this thing and average. Oh, we did not practice average. So average will be like this. Let's go back to the table. If you check this table, you have list of directors here. You have directors ID, you have studio ID. What if someone asks you to specify, to tell how many studios or present the list of studios that have maybe more than, how should I call it? Oscar win or something, or directors. We can do something like maybe this joined with what? I think there's a directors table, yes. The on what was the condition? This is the condition, and we can say, let's say B dot what first name or B dot full name. We can count what each director, whatever they've done. So it will be A dot director ID. And we'll order by full name. Sorry, we need to group by first. Group by aggregate function. So So what this is telling us is the movie count. My spelling is correct, movie count. So from here, you can see the list is too long, 484. So we can actually further filter this by applying having count. This maybe let's look for those with movie at least more than 5, greater than 5. So I think only 41. We can further reduce it to maybe movie up to 10. So with this one, this query, that result set shows us that only 8 people, only 8 directors directed movies that, that are more than 10. So that means others more than 100 actually directed movies that is less than 10. So you can answer so many questions with when you're using aggregate function. Our time is up. I think if there is no question, we'll stop here. Is there any question for me? Is there any question for me? Any question, please?
No.
Okay,
No
Oga
question.
Rashid.
No. Okay, sir.
Over to you.
Oh, wow. The class is very, very gentle today.
I know. I noticed last week was, the energy was too much. As in, I enjoyed the class. Now,
It goes to show that we're getting deeper and
yeah,
we still need to work harder. So even me, there are a lot of insights I got from this class.
Thank you.
Somebody say something?
I was saying that it's because it's getting more
advanced.
No, it's not hard. It's getting deeper.
Yes.
The deeper you go. So it's fine. That's to tell you that we need to work harder. Mr. Armford did not get to this level today.
Yeah.
I guess it's network, because I'm not sure it's there again.
To get to this level. So thank you so much, Mr. Infon. Your session today is a very deep one, and that's why everybody is very gentle. Initially, we have about 30 people on the call. So
hello, Mr. Rashid.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Sorry, a call is trying to cut that discussion. So thank you very much for coming today. This record class will be dropped immediately after, so you can have enough time to really go over it and practice. If you have any challenge, I don't know. Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Hello, sir.
I'm with
you.
you.
Are you on our WhatsApp group? Are you on the Nigeria Data Platform WhatsApp group?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Please, I will have to add you today in case people run into challenge and they need to reach out to you so that if they have any question, you can address it. I will discuss with the project manager to do the needful in that regard. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. This is 4:15.